Okay, I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
This has been long.
This has been long.
It's been good.
Okay, I'm glad y'all still
It's
like
been good.
I feel like next time we should like do costume changes so you can just freak it out.
Hey, part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. Okay, so one question I really wanted to ask: what is the craziest spiritual experience that you've had?
I'll go first. So I feel like they need to collect themselves. So I would say crazy. I'm receiving that as like just completely off the wall, like just out of this world, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Heart and Soul was this curated show that I would go to after I stopped going to public venues, and I think probably after like a year and a half or 2 of performing, the curator finally realized what I was doing. Right, like so, he calls me up on the stage and he's like, we're Mortician, I feel like you have something for her. That is like the secret phrase. Like I'll be in a public setting, I'll be minding my business, and a stranger comes and says, I think you have something for me. Oh, wow. And so I do this. They put their hands on mine. I give them what I got. They walk away. I'm shaking because it was just like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So this one night that it happens, Kevin calls me up on the stage and he was like, I know you don't know her, but I just really feel like you have something for her. And this woman is on the stage, and here I am standing in front of her, like just like this. And I put my hands out, I'm looking into her eyes, and I told her to place her hands on mine. And as soon as she hit me, I just felt like I left something. When I came back, I was shaking and crying. She was crying, and everybody was standing. And it was absolutely insane. Like I'll see the images on like on Facebook reminders and memories or what have you. Yeah. And I'm just like, I remember that day. I told this lady, because I heard a video recording of it, I told her about her mother and how she carried her face. And I talked about the disconnect of her siblings, not knowing that Dexter is her brother, that it was his birthday. She came into town to see him. She hadn't seen him. Doorstep, and I get stopped. And he's like, who sent you? And I was like, well, so-and-so told me you needed a poet. Here I am. And he's like, well, I'm not paying you. You're not even dressed. And I said, you can't afford me. You want me to spit a night? And so I get on the stage, and I'm like in my ego mad, right? Super ego. Like I'm pissed because I'm like, who are you talking to?
Right.
So I do a poem in this bar, which I'm not fond of because nobody came to get what I'm giving. Yeah. So now I just gotta hit them with like a brick or something. But the second poem I did is now when everybody's like, listening, the glasses are no longer clanking, you're not drinking no more, you're paying attention to me. And I'm like, yo, show him some love, and I pull him on stage. Yeah. And I tell him, pick a number, give me that many words. And he gives me some, foo-foo stuff. And I'm just like, why couldn't you give me what you prayed for last night? Ooh. And I dug him out. And like, I ran into him at an event at the Texas Black Expo this year. And he was just like, he was so adamant to remember me. Like he knew me, but he didn't know how he knew me. And I told him exactly who he was and where he met me, and he was just like, "Oh, good to see you." Very awkward because like a lot of people don't realize the difference in my tone. If I'm asking you a question, I'm just being a human for the moment. But if I'm telling you something, you need to listen to me and do what I said because obviously this is not going to be repeated. Yeah. And this is that opportunity you asked for. Yeah. And like the way the ideas come and stuff, like every day feels like a more spiritual like pow. But that I think was my most crazy.
Wow. That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
So would you put a word on that? Like, what is that?
Delivering a healing word.
But you knew stuff about them that you ain't supposed to know.
Yeah.
I think that would be. I have this test where it tells you it's like a questionnaire, and it tells you like what's your spiritual gifts, right? Now I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't know it worked for me. So I have this, and I'm gonna give it to you so you can take it. But I think it may be something like not speaking in tongues, but it's like in a sense it's prophesizing.
Yeah. So my pastor told me it was prophecy and knowledge. Yeah. Like I know things I don't read.
Right.
Yeah.
That can be a gift.
Yeah, like I don't read, but I definitely know things. Yeah. The things I enjoy reading is poetry and like verses in the Bible. I love Homer and the Iliad because it's poetic. Yeah. And it speaks on a level that I can keep up with. Yeah. But just mundane stuff feels like a waste. Yeah. To me, But yeah, I don't know if there's a word for it. There wasn't a word for me, so I call myself the Mortician. Hey. I take letters pieced together. I paint images with my lips and tongue tips. But no, Nobody can do what I can.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. For sure.
So what's the craziest?
Well, I just want to say something about the word magician.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like what I would call that, it would be a channel and also another ascended master. Like people think that there can't be an ascended master in our lifetimes. I think that there's ascended masters everywhere. From maybe one ascended master that was able to help these 3 people, or one that was able to help 50 million or 50,000, just depending. And I feel like you're one of those people where you can go into a room and you can help a few people, leave and be good. Not everybody can do that, and so my spiritual gifts, I would have to say, would be feeling other people's pain and making them identify or helping them identify that.
Yeah.
And not necessarily giving them hope, just helping them understand, like, you have to handle this before you can move forward.
Yeah.
And I think I just learned that from my own personal experiences and feeling my energy inside. And now that I can feel other people's energy and identify it, I can just, okay, this person needs to hear this real quick. Bada bang, bada bang. And keep it moving. In casual conversation, a lot of times. A lot of times it's literally in casual conversation. And then
I feel like it would be hard for you to have casual conversation. Like you personally. Like
yeah, it's hard to have casual conversations, but I do have them. A lot of times in social things that I'm in, I try not to be so spiritual everywhere that I go, but it does happen. I always have little gems in my car.
Look.
Yeah, you know, I try not to, but it's just...
This is what you do.
Yeah, it's what you do, and when you see, like, oh my God, this happened actually last, like, couple weeks ago. I felt it, like, my hands were just shaking. I was out at a day party, and my hands just started, like this, just trembling, and I'm like, Sable, some shit's about to pop off.
Oh my God.
Some shit's about to pop off, and she's like, girl, ain't nothing finna happen. 2 seconds later, a fight broke out.
Wow.
Like a fight broke out. I can feel it. Like I was just like, and I saw from when it started to when it ended.
Yeah.
I saw who it was gonna be, how it was gonna happen, who was gonna be involved. It all happened, and I've had it since I was small. But when you're small, you don't know because nobody's really, you know, I knew a little bit because I went to different ceremonies and stuff like that, and I can understand languages that were never taught to me and stuff like that. And so you're like, oh, cool, you know, I got these little gifts, but you don't know, like, okay, when I'm driving this way and you can feel somebody pulling
your feet,
pulling you, or you can just. What do you want me to do? You want me to turn around? Like, what do you want me to do? And then you're like, and then you don't listen, and then there's this major accident in front of you that you like barely missed. Right? So I have a lot of those type of powers, even to the point where I can see it happening to somebody else in my face, and then I can help them. And so I don't have any specifics. It just happens.
What's the craziest thing that happened? Like.
Oh, right. Actually, my 30th birthday, we were on our way back from Colorado Springs because I wanted to be there on my 30th birthday where I was, you know, born and stuff because I don't know it. And our car broke down. We had a rental and it broke down. Weird, right? And I'm like, Sable, something is like, we were upset, but I was like, something is just, there's a reason why this is happening. And I don't know what it is, but we were still kind of mad. And when I tell you, when we got on the freeway, there was a fatal accident, like literally. This is the fatal accident passing me, and I'm here. Okay, I had to just release my foot off the gas because you know how some people panic, right? And if I wasn't prepared, I probably would have been like, But something in me a little bit before that was like, just calm down. Something's about to happen, but just relax. When I tell you, Sable was like. She was even calm, and Sable was more of a reactionary person. That car literally passed us just like that, real simple, and it was with an 18-wheeler. And then I had to really be careful because if I would have hit the gas too fast, I would have hit the 18-wheeler as well. So I had to wait and like slip through. I mean, when I tell you guys, the hair on my back, the little peach fuzz that I had was just sticking up. I was like, thank you, Grandpa. Thank you, everybody. I'm calm. I'm chill. I'm relaxed.
Wow.
I'm blessed. I'm thankful. This is my 30th birthday.
Big deal.
My ancestors were trying to tell me, like, you got this. Everything's good. Relax. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path.
Okay.
Or other times when I'm praying, my grandpa's truck is an old truck. It'll pass by me. On my way here, I was so nervous. I was like, I went to my little areas in my house and I did my planting this morning, and I was just like, I'm so nervous. I don't really read literature on my spirituality. It's all very folklore. You're with your family. And my grandfather's truck went this way, and then some man that looked like he was from the 1800s was walking on the side of the freeway on 521. Just whistling, like, I just started smiling. I was like, all right, we good. Who needs a blessing today? What's up? All the nerves were gone. Like, little things like that. And people always come to me. I don't remember them. Sometimes I do. And they're always like, man, every time I see you, you're just so, or you told me this one time and it really happened. Like, it just happened. It's just, I can't name it. It's just,
that's interesting.
It's almost like some stuff just comes out. My movements even are just, sometimes I that's why I call myself a goddess, because I can be walking and not see a tree branch that might hit me in the head, and I'll just go like this. And I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna bob, but I just bobbed. Little things like that.
You're not fighting it. You're not fighting that compass. You know what I'm saying? You're not fighting it.
I love that.
So,
What's the craziest thing that happened to you? Because they just get better and better. I gotta hear both of y'all.
I should.
So, I would say the craziest thing that has happened to me so far has been with my twin flame.
Mm-hmm. So I hope you was going to tell that one.
Yes, I've had interesting experiences before that were more like dark and scary experiences, and then with the twin flame. Okay, so I'll tell you the story. So this happened 2 different times. So there was a time where we got into an argument, and I think it was like a year or 2 ago, and I was in my apartment. And, I fell asleep angry, like really mad, like, I'm done, this is stupid, I'm not going to play. So I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I felt her energy come through the door and lay next to me and cuddle under me. Like, I felt her energy, and I felt like I was being pulled into her energy, basically. And then I woke up and I was like, okay, so what were you doing last night? Because you came into my apartment and my door was like, I realized it was a dream or whatever it was when I was like, okay, so my door is locked, she don't have a key, how is she in my apartment? And then I was like, I started freaking out, and then I woke up and I texted her, I was like, what were you doing? And she was like, I was meditating because I felt like I was wrong and I should apologize, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then there's another situation that happened where same kind of situation, I'm upset, I'm like, forget this, I'm done. So
You thought?
I thought. So I'm asleep again, and it's like this huge ball of energy. Like it felt like, it's hard to explain. I feel like the only way I could explain it would be through like videography, because it was like this huge ball of energy, and I felt like I was like all encompassing, and I felt like I was going into it. And then I woke up, and it was a similar situation. I knew it was her. And people were like, how do you know it was her or whatever? And I knew it was her because I know the energy, and it was just crazy. But like, that whole relationship has been like spiritual things like that. Like, there's been a time where we had a dream together. So like, we were in the same bed. So this is the time where we were actually together in the same bed, fell asleep. I was having a dream that we were in the club and she started talking to some other girl, and I'm like, okay. I did. And when I left, I woke up. And then, so I was awake, and she turned over, she was like, what's wrong? I thought we were on good terms. Like consciously we were on good terms. But in this dream, clearly I got some subconscious things, she got some subconscious things going on. So she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm asleep. What you talking about? There's nothing wrong. She's like, well, we was in the club and you just left. I was like, wait. Wait, what? Like, I'm asleep. Like, what you mean we was in the club? Like, no. But yeah, she's like, you're being mean and you just left me in the club. I don't appreciate that.
I'm like, girl, don't come to me. Right?
But not even acknowledging that it was the same one though. I mean, like definitely a twin flame. Like, yeah,
it was interesting. Like, there's been a lot of experiences like that, and like I felt like I've known I would have. She was actually the first person to tell me that she was my twin flame. Like, she literally woke up. It was a similar situation. I was like, Lord, can I be done? I'm done. And then, like, let me know if this, what this is, because I didn't know what it was for a very long time. And I was like, what the hell is this? I don't want it. What is this? Very next morning, I get a text from Renee. She's your twin flame.
Well, that's your ass asking what something is. They come on to tell you that's what it is, baby. You gotta keep it. You can't burn without it.
Man, it was crazy. But what I realized also, when we first met, not long after we met, she was in a Greek mythology class. And she's like, man, I found out this interesting concept of the twin flame. And I like kind of blew it off. She did too. It was like, yeah, that's interesting where, you know, basically you're the same soul in two different bodies. And she was explaining it to me from her Greek mythology class. And then we started having these experiences. And then there's a time where I was cool with her friend, but I wasn't cool with her at the time. And her friend took me to this church that was open for people, whatever. And it had cards like that, but it was angel cards. Mm-hmm. And on the angel card, I just realized this not long ago, it said twin flame. And it said, the answer to your problem is a spiritual relationship. I didn't know what a twin flame was. Well, I was like, okay, I know it's about knowledge, but I don't know what twin flame is. So when she said, she is, like, wow, the universe is, like, trying to get me to...
I mean, that confirmation be hitting me.
Yeah. So, like, after that, it made way more sense. And, like, I've been able to talk to my dad. I've been able to talk to her dad because her dad died when she was 5. Mm-hmm. So, and, like, I had a conversation with this lady. I think she's clairvoyant. And the first session we had together, her dad was in the room, my dad was in the room. And they were like, so what y'all doing? Because, like, we want to know what's going on. And we bless the relationship, but y'all have to get over us and, like, get through, because y'all both have daddy issues that y'all need to understand. We're here to help. Mm-hmm. These are our parents, like our dads. And it was just really interesting. So
very beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's on a whole nother level, like a whole other world.
And and it's an LGBT relationship, which I'm like, because before I was scared, like, what if I have a soulmate and I'm gay or whatever, and I can't get to my soulmate or whatever. But
you know, your soulmate is gay.
Yeah.
And a beautiful person.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, yeah, that's the craziest experience I've had. I've had some dark experiences that are creepy. I don't know if y'all have ever had any scary, like, spiritual experiences.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've only seen people reject my gifts. Like, somebody that I was a friend to, I think she started treating me more like her genie. Like, you know, asking me about women, asking me about certain things. So I would literally dream about her experiences, like her sexual encounters, nothing vulgar or detailed or graphic, but more so like I could tell what she looked like.
Yeah.
And then she'd start trying to rush to that experience as opposed to letting it transition. And then I had to learn, you know, diplomacy and how just because I know don't mean you get to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm asked, you know, what are you thinking or why are you so quiet? It's like, I'm stuck here. You can't be here right now.
Yeah.
It'll come to you though. You know, because you gotta learn.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
You gotta learn when it's gonna be received well.
Yeah.
And not everybody will receive well, because if you don't have a doctorate in medicine or psychology, if you don't have the credentials, people don't deem you credible to give them information.
Mm-hmm.
And they will only depend on the books they read. Well, if I haven't written mine, then you're not gonna find that answer.
Yeah.
So now I'm convicted.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I gotta ask you quick.
There's a lot of people that are not ready to get what they need to hear.
Yeah.
You say you have to ask me what is it?
What is your craziest spiritual
experience?
experience?
I have so many. Like so many, because that's like my life. But the two that stand out the most is this. So I was at prayer meeting one night, and I was like praying at the altar, and I consciously remember saying, "Okay, God, I submit like everything, whatever, all of me, I give to you." And then like I felt something like be lifted off of me, and then that's when I was praying by myself, and then we prayed as a group, like a small circle, like 4 people. And while we're praying, and like I don't even remember what I was praying for, I just remember what I was feeling in my chest. I felt like something like opening up, like a flower, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then my pastor, he was like, you know, and then as this is happening, I'm hearing him saying like that we're praying that, you know, people's gifts blossom and stuff like that, like other words similar that coincide with what was happening inside of me. And I was just like, wow, you know, because I had never felt anything like that up to that point. And then when we were leaving Bible study, well, in my circle was my mama, my auntie, and like this man I had never seen before. And so then while we were leaving, you know, getting into the car, like this old raggedy red pickup truck pulled up, and he like, "Hey, God told me to tell you something." I said, "Who, me?" I was like, again, I had never had anything like that happen. So I walk over, and he's like, "God told me to tell you, you're going to write a book of poetry, and that's going to be your way to minister to people." I said, "What?" At this time, like, this man don't know I'm a poet. He don't know, like, right? He don't know nothing about me. And so from that was like one thing that just helped guide me on my purpose about what I do and how if it ain't this, I won't do it. And but then the second thing though, it's like we was in church one time, and like in church I always pray to have blinders, right? Because I don't want to see what nobody else is doing. I'm here just to connect. And you said something about Avatar, and y'all remember the part where they plug into the tree? It's like that. Mm-hmm. So I just was trying to get connected to the source. And then I opened my eyes, and I swear to God, I saw an angel standing on the altar. Uh-huh. It was from the altar all the way to the ceiling, and it's like this gold beaming light, and it was just draped in these robes, and it had like this kind of staff. I couldn't make out any kind of facial features or anything like that, and like it scared me, so I closed my eyes. But then I was thinking about it the other day, like it makes so much sense. It says like if we see God, we'll die, because it was just so beautiful, and I just couldn't believe I was seeing it, and it was just like breathtaking, like wow, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy. I'm gonna write a poem about it, but
that's beautiful.
It was breathtaking. It was just like I couldn't believe it. Then like, you know, it seemed like I was the only person who saw it. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, is this angel here all the time, and we just don't see it? Yeah. But it was just it was very majestic. And it just, you know how in the Bible it says, like, in heaven the streets are paved with gold. And it's just like, it was that kind of gold, like, I had never seen before. And it was just, like, light. You know what I'm saying? Like, this beautiful, beautiful light.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
That's interesting.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's breathtaking, I'm telling you.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's beautiful. I can see it right now. That's beautiful.
Peace, queen.
That's cool.
And the way that you describe that reminds me of like the Orishas, because the Orishas don't have a face, and they stand with the staff, and usually they're like yellow or something like that. But they have, you know, the way that they explain them, they look like that.
Wow.
They look like, and different colors.
The Orishas.
The Orishas.
Yeah, the
That's
Orishas.
what's up.
Like which one is yellow? Ogun?
Oshun.
Oshun.
She's yellow. She has the all yellow, and she has honey and stuff. She doesn't have a staff, but when you say that, it's like I can see what we have. You know, we have white ones, we have blue ones, all these different ones. But yeah,
I tell you, that was amazing.
that's beautiful.
That's awesome. I just thought about something. Okay, this is the last question for you.
You sure?
Right.
Okay, so I've had an experience where like I was going deep into like learning about stuff, and I started thinking about aliens. Have y'all ever? So I was literally, it was ridiculous because I was watching this cheesy movie, this alien movie that Rihanna was in. I don't know if y'all heard.
Oh yeah. I can't remember what.
I don't remember. It was like a.
She has like this weird like cut, like
she was in the military or something.
yeah, the Navy.
Yeah. I was like,
what is it
I
called?
was on some stuff. Like, what was it?
Valerian?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like it was something else.
It looked like Aliens 3.
It was in the early
No,
2000s.
Oh no, this is 20.
No,
Or
no,
mid
no, no.
2000s.
Battleship.
No, that's
Battleship.
not it.
It was
Battleship. It's Battleship. She was in another Alien movie, and that one
Really?
was pretty dope. What is it
I gotta
called?
watch that.
Yeah.
It was Battleship.
Valerian,
It was
no.
cheesy.
Yeah, but Battleship. Yeah, that's the one.
It was
Battleship.
interesting. But I thought about this because there's also this line in I'm trying to remember that other movie, but basically I was deep into like learning about the Bible and different things about the Bible and just like the context of sacred texts and history and all this different type of stuff. And I was on my balcony, I was looking at the moon after watching that movie. And I was like, what happens when you get abducted by aliens?
Mm-hmm.
So what usually happens? I'm asking y'all. Supposedly.
Suppose they do test on you and
No, but like what
you get like the little UFO coming
with a white light.
Mm-hmm.
A white light takes you into the air. So what happens supposedly when you die? It's a white light that takes you.
Alienates your spirit.
And I was like, wait a minute now, what's happening? So like think about this. If you only knew of Earth and there's a white light that came and took you to another place, you didn't see where you're going, all you see is a white light and you're lifted.
You think you're not going to heaven.
You think you're going to heaven. So what if heaven
is
a spaceship? Well, that act is you going into the spaceship and then you become a part of whatever other part of the universe there is. And after I thought about that, I started looking stuff up and I was like, man, because there's other people talking about that. Because if you think about people in history, they're kind of primitive. They don't know anything besides
What they're
this
supposed
earth.
to.
So even if you come in an airplane with a place that's never seen an airplane, they're going to think you God. Like, what are you? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
So that night, I went to bed and I started to feel like I was being abducted.
Mm-hmm.
I literally felt like my soul was like being lifted. I was like, oh!
Hold on now.
I'm gonna say-
Hold up, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Where we going?
I called my mom. I was like, look, Mom, I'm tripping. I gotta go to the house. I'm not going to sleep.
Did your mom be like, what book did you read now?
Exactly. For real. I drove home so quick and I was like, the whole ride, I'm like, I hope it don't abduct me while I'm driving down the street. I'm like, and then like, it was like 2 nights in a row. I could not sleep. And like, at some point I was like, look, whatever this is, whatever you are, I don't want to go. I want to stay here on Earth. I'm not ready. Whatever it is. And like, after that, I never talked about aliens. So, like, have y'all ever like had thoughts about aliens or whatever, or had encounters or whatever?
My encounters are more so like dimensions and feeling things where I am, like where I just bump into you on accident. I feel you on my skin, but not like an alienation.
Have any of y'all had thoughts or experiences with
Not
aliens?
experiences, but I definitely believe that there's extraterrestrial beings out there. I think that they're like physical form like us, but then there's some in other dimensions that some people can see it depending on their sensitivities.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that there's abductions, but you're not like say it's not your body. It's like your
soul.
Right. It's your
astral.
Right. Or you know when you astral project, you're probably encountering different beings, or like you say, a lot of information is just like that's your higher self, which is not in this avatar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have all these different things you can call an alien, you can call spirit, you can call. This is
it's synonymous.
Yeah. This is just so basic here, right? People just you know, it's just it's so basic here. People think this is it. This is all that's in the room. What we're seeing right now, like there's so much other stuff.
What you're feeling,
right?
Like the thoughts that you heard. Go ahead and say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. You have any thoughts about aliens?
I haven't had any encounters, but Area 51 definitely intrigued me. I'm like, dang, is that aliens? And then I think about how, like if you watch, what is that movie? With the Transformers, right? They had abducted one of the Transformers, and all of our technology was derived from the little cube that's in the Transformer. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, you know, does life imitate art? Does art imitate life? There's there's some underlying truth, right? Yeah. I haven't explored or done any research to where, you know, I feel like, you know, the universe is vast, right? It's unexplorable by humans. And that's how I feel like some subjects I can't know everything about, or I can't know all the way to the very end how it goes. But I think it's possible. And I think if so, it's to represent that it's so much about God that we don't know. Because you asked earlier, what is God? To me, God is the universe. You know what I'm saying? All these different galaxies. You know, we have black holes in the Bible. It says, like, when God forgives us, he casts our sins behind him, like in this lake behind him, right? So it's like, that's a black hole to me. You know, like, boom. It says, like, we are made in God's image. If you take some looks at different solar systems, like it resembles our DNA, or how our hair grows on our head. God, to me, is the universe thing, but all existing, all knowing, in all places at the same time. You know, the universe.
So what do y'all think God is? Because you just answered.
I think she was on it right there.
I think God is a noun in every aspect, person, place, thing, and idea. He is the thought, he is the derivative of existence, literally. He, she, it, them. God is love.
I think that pretty much
I mean, I even see God in the bad in things. Because it will cultivate good if you learn from bad or different things like that.
Or if you influence, right?
Exactly. I think it's very fluid. It's
a duality, so to speak.
Yeah.
God is in all things.
And it's definitely within us.
Absolutely.
Like, if we don't believe that we're master manifestors, and that's what God is.
True. God see, man, it comes with people not being taking the time to reflect themselves. Because the Bible tells you all of that. It says, Jesus said when he was leaving, right, that I've done all these works, but greater works will you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't heal people from the dead, or heal people from this, raise people from the dead, this and XYZ, but you're going to do even greater, and we're just humans. And I know for sure that God is in us, you know, because that's where our intuition comes from. That's where that GPS comes from, like that battle you have about what you should do, shouldn't do. I think it's all everywhere, so
I definitely feel like God is us. Like, we are God, and God is us. And I feel like a lot of people get off track when they don't see God, when they see people. And like,
you're right.
I think that's a huge thing, because like, if you were to approach every single person, no matter what they look like, what they've done, whatever the case may be, this is God you're talking to. I think it would be very different how you approach it.
And then if you think about it, though, humans are gods on Earth, right? Who's above? We
are manifesting.
What species are above humans? Right. So we do have dominion over the earth, you know. And then God has given us power in our words to create. He has given us power to speak life, or you can speak death. Like, really, you just so if that ain't God, I don't know what is.
I think it's everywhere. Everywhere, like, literally. I never answered, like, my spiritual practice right now is basically just, like, in the moment, what's happening. So it could be as simple as a lady. It could be a ladybug. I'm like, hold up, that's not normal. Spiritual meaning of ladybug. And then it'll be on point. On point. Like, I've had a bed of white feathers. Like, I came out of my apartment and I just saw a bed of white feathers. I was like, that ain't normal. What is the spiritual meaning? Like, and it was on point for what I was looking for, and I came back and that whole bed of feathers was gone. And like, so that's really where I've really been practicing. Like, I don't really go to church much. Like, I feel like every single day I'm having a conversation and a relationship with my ancestors, with God. Music is probably my most religious practice that I do. And so last thing, what would you tell someone in the LGBT community who is struggling maybe to come out, or struggling in school, being bullied, or just struggling in general with who they are and being spiritual and who they are at the same time?
Someone has already planted the seeds to build the foundation for you. Pick your head up. You don't need to always walk around making sure the cracks won't trip you, or, you know, break the backs of those who came before you. But you stand on the shoulders of people who fought for your freedom. And when you are able to look into the mirror, into your eyes, and acknowledge your greatness, that no one else's stare will matter.
Beautiful.
I wish I had those words, you know. Man, honestly, same that she said, but I mean, you have to stand up with your head up high and be comfortable and fierce and reach out to people. Like, we're online. Yeah, we're accessible. There's so many things online that you can find. Just Google. Look. Yeah, how to. Look on YouTube. Do different things like research and reach out to people that are going to embrace you. Don't be concerned about the people that are not, because they're going to be there whether you're gay, straight, what you are, whether you change from being a lesbian to being straight. Somebody's going to judge you, even in our community at times.
Yeah.
Just be you. Love the people who love you. Love the people who don't love you, but don't give them your water out your cup.
Amen.
Hey, that's a word.
Yes.
That's a word.
So I would tell them, well, first of all, God loves you, so don't let anyone take that from you. Right? God, the Bible says we are in his right hand, we cannot be plucked out. Nothing can separate you from the love of God. So if nothing can separate you, you being gay, God ain't gonna worry about that. As well, there's no condemnation. Like you shouldn't have any guilt or feel any shame about who you are, what you like. And then, go be your best self and keep God first. And all that you do, you're gonna be good.
Hey.
What would you say?
So I would say definitely find a relationship with a higher power, like whatever that is for you, because there's going to be times where there's nobody. I think the biggest thing that I've learned from coming out and then not always having a person is that I leaned on metaphysical things. I leaned on things that, like, it wasn't a person, but it was a spirit. It could have been my ancestor that I turned to because I couldn't turn to my parents, or I was just in a place where I was by myself. And then it opened me up to other worlds that I could start creating, and that I started creating my life. And from there, I lived the life that I created. And I think that's a big thing for anybody who's like in a position where they don't feel like they fit in or they can work within the world, because I feel like we really can create our own world. And it gets better.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Get better with time.
Ooh, so this has been awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna need y'all to come back.
Yes,
Absolutely, like 10 more conversations.
This is great.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm super appreciative that y'all came.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
These conversations are the only kind I want to have, so I can't go to social settings and be like, oh yeah, reality TV is great.
Yeah.
But y'all should really check out Pride Wives.
Okay.
Yes. Where can we find
So
that?
it's only on the ON channel.
Yes.
So it's kind of like they upload their series and then you can watch it like you would binge watch Netflix. Their season 1 is already out.
Okay.
But like it's 5 or 6 different lesbian couples, and the lady that produced it, her and her spouse, she's from Cali, her spouse is from Texas, and she was just like, she grew up with all of these big names from entertainment, and it's just in her to create and be great and just do dope things. And so I actually interviewed her on my radio show a couple weeks ago, and she was saying how like just listening to the people that they were interacting with, she was like, you do know this is like a reality show, like I could catch you in this light and do all this stuff. And so that's what they've done. They put all this money investing in, kind of like how Erica put all of her life into her movie. And it's just all coming into fruition, and it's amazing. And like
awesome.
So Marius, Tiffany, Ebony actually found them for me, and I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm an LGBT wedding officiant. I do couple coaching, help with intimacy and communication. Could I kind of like be on your show? And she found a YouTube video of me performing, and so she invites me to a casting barbecue, and I felt like so fancy. They had like tomahawk ribeyes. It took me 3 days to eat this steak. It was so big, but so juicy. And like I got to just interact with them, and then instead of being in front of a green screen thinking, oh, this is TV, I got to think about it too much, I sat at a chair upstairs in her house, and they all sat on the floor. I'm thinking like I'm a teacher. They're my little class. She told somebody, she was like, it's like she's Jesus giving us the word. Like we were here listening. And literally like some of them got like, emotional, and like we're just really like, oh my God, like do it again, do me. And it was really fun. So like they're gonna put portions of that on their show. But they literally wanted to keep it real and authentic which is like my word of my life. Like, be authentic, because I don't want it if it's not real.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is it on the website?
Yeah, so I'll give you the info, but like if you subscribe to the Orange channel, it's like $30 for a year subscription, and you have access to all of these shows, which they have a network for LGBT productions. Tracy Woodbury Chester is the producer, and her wife Chester is like, the producer of Pride Wives. Yeah. But they own it. They're about to launch a Pride Wives of Atlanta. Wow. They have Pride Wives Dallas. They're just gonna hit up all these spectrums, actresses and stuff. And we got a wife. So Pride Wives Houston, I think, would be really dope.
Yeah, Pride Wives Houston would be dope.
But I think it's just so amazing because she's literally paved the road, so we can stand on the shoulders of those who have sweat for us. Because when we're married, but just being married in the essence of seeing something of normalcy. Yeah. Like what I'm going to record is, just saying like, gone are the days of shame. Like no longer do we have to cast away the thoughts that we too can be seen on TV, and our life and our truth be depicted so freely. Like this is a beautiful thing.
Hey.
Yeah, word Morticia.
Word. That's what's up. So what do you have going on that you can tell people about?
All right, I have a church tour coming up called Preach Poet. And I'm going to go to different churches and, do some poetry. Also, my book is still available, Spark a Dream. And what else am I doing?
Writing another book. So yesterday I checked her. Okay, so like Ebony has this binder of like all these sermons that she wrote like years ago. Channel. And just like immediately, moments before I told her like, yo, if I talk to you a certain way and I'm not asking you a question, do what I say, just go with the flow. Not even, she hates me to tell what to do. But like not even 20 minutes later, she's like, okay, well, I don't know which one of these is going to be my first sermon. And I'm like, okay, well, pick one. And I was like, ooh, call this person, because I want to call her out. But like, call this person. So she answers the phone, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Don't want to interrupt, but like, listen. Yeah. And then I start recording on my phone, and I'm recording her sitting on her sofa, just being herself, sharing the word. And literally reading it to where it didn't even sound confusing, because like certain versions of the Bible, them scriptures be like tongue twisters, and it's like, what is it saying? Yeah. But she broke it down, and then she gives this sermon to go with it, and it was just like this ebb and flow, and I'm like, this is authenticity, this is natural. So
I'm gonna do that on my YouTube channel. Yeah. And the YouTube channel also would be either under Ebony Rose or Preach Poet, one of the two. Okay. Just trying to push that.
What we looking at?
Hey. Tell all your friends and foes about Ebony Rose.
Okay.
So you're gonna be on a movie, and what else you got? Maybe be on Pride Wives.
Maybe on Pride Wives. Everybody just
put that in
manifest that.
Yep. I got that going on, huh?
Tell them where to find 30 again.
Oh, Amazon Prime in September. Amazon
I'm
Prime.
saving my free trial.
It's called 30.
Yeah, 30. Yeah. That's the only project I have going on outside of, in here in the studio sometimes when I try, when I have time. But I'm always doing spiritual work. So if you need something, I got you.
What do you do?
And almost everything. I don't do any love spells. I always say that the first time anybody asks me what I do. I don't do love spells. I'll do a love spell if you want to love yourself, but outside of that, I don't do them.
Yeah, that definitely is something I think everybody needs.
Is a love spell to themselves. Yeah. Absolutely. Really, I'm very eclectic, so it's kind of like whenever you come to me, what do you need? Yeah. What's going on? If you need anything, if it's just, hey, I just need somebody to talk to. Okay, I'm here. So that's me. I'm just Renee. I'm just Goddess Renee Angelique. Yeah. If you need something, I got them. I got candles, crystals.
They make bullets.
Even my wife, she makes crystal bullets. It has a bullet.
That's where I got from her.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God! So Lady 380 is this dope poet, and her wife started putting out all this promo, these beautiful pictures of these stones that they shape into stuff, and I'm like, Lady 380, I need a bullet necklace, and they made it literally in less than 2 days, and then delivered it to me.
Yes.
But what is a bullet?
Yes.
It's a crystal shaped like a bullet.
So there's a true bullet that's been fired, and it has a crystal inside of that bullet. So
y'all put it in there, or
yes, we personally. Well, my wife does them. She handles all the stones. She cleanses all the materials from scratch. I mean, she be out there with a hammer, and I'm like, don't break anything out there. Don't break a window, and it's all popping everywhere. But yeah, everything's from scratch. Everything's intuitive.
Yeah.
So everything I do is by intuition. There'll be times when I'm like, you know what, I feel like people need this, or somebody will call me and they're like, this is what I'm going through, and I'm like, okay, you need this, 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 and this. I don't even have this on my website, but I'll help you out with this and this and that. Or you're fine, girl. You just need take a couple baths and you'll be all right. You know, spiritual baths.
Right.
And you'll be fine. I do that, spiritual baths and all that kind of stuff. But it's so much that it's hard to just put it all in.
Yeah. What's the name of your website?
Raw Healing Creations. That's RA Healing Creations.
Hey.
Yeah. So anything you can just even send me an email. Hey, this is what I'm going through. I'm not going through anything. I just want something to help me sleep better or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here.
In all honesty, though, isn't it easier when they want to? Like, you don't have to go to the people and get
absolutely.
them. They come to you because they know where to go to get the
absolutely. I do a little bit of marketing, of course, because I want people to know what I have. But I want you to come to me so that you're not giving me any pushback or we're I'll say, well, when you're ready to deal with yourself, because a lot of times that's what it is. You're just needing to deal with yourself. Then come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I even help people do vision boards.
Yeah.
Some people, they've never heard what a vision board is, and if y'all haven't heard, I can help.
Yeah.
But there's just so many resources that self-help.
Yeah.
Self-help.
How to.
Spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
If you need it.
Yeah.
Some people don't need it. Some people just need a little, hey, stop doing that.
Yeah. Well,
So do you think as the provider of the need, do you have a need, and how is that met?
Oh, girl, I'm always in therapy. I'm always with my madrina. I'm always doing something to make myself better and to fill my cup. And to be honest, other people, even when they come to me, they're filling my cup because I'm learning from them too. I haven't gone through everything that every person has gone through, but for whatever reason, the answer will flow through me. And then if in the future I need it,
you got it.
I have it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a
exchange. Two birds, one stone, man. I'm telling you before.
Exactly. Like, I learn stuff all the time doing what I do, all the time. And I'm not the type of, that don't make sense. Or okay, what is that about? I want to learn, because there's not one person that knows everything.
Sure.
Absolutely. If anybody thinks that, they need to self-check. They need some self-checking.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. I do rituals, all that stuff.
Hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm here.
No.
And once I become a priestess, then I'll open my house up. So I'm still very new in my initiation phase in my tradition.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful with how I do things, especially with other people, because I have to make sure I'm grounded and I'm taken care of.
Yeah.
So until I can give more energy of that certain spiritual side, then I'm not opening up that avenue. But once I become a priestess,
it's on.
Have you heard of Divine Light?
I don't think I've heard of that. What is that?
So let me tell you. I know we're done, but this is like so intense. So I have a friend. About 6 or 7 years ago, we're at Walmart like 2 a.m. looking for a movie because we're just up, want to watch TV. And this guy comes up to me speaking in Spanish. I have no idea what he's saying. She translates that he was like, he came from Mexico. He'd been walking for miles. He just needed some money to get in a hotel. I look down and I see that his shoes have no soles and his socks have holes in them. And I'm like, well, let me finish what I'm doing and then we'll take you. And like, I could feel her staring at me like, bitch, is you crazy?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm sorry, we're going to do what? Like, I drove. And I was like, well, I said, we're going to take him to the hotel. I'll pay for the room. Then, we'll go on about our day, watch the movie. And she was just like, Tip, you're not scared? And just busted out, like, with no breakage. I have faith. And for years, like, we've, like, separated in our communication, come back together. And she's always been like, I'm still chasing that faith you had that day. Yeah. Now she has it. So she was dating this woman. The relationship was not what I would call up to par, but it was influential. And she found herself at this center for Divine Light. And it has a lot of Asian history behind it. But basically, it's where an individual literally is becoming the person to preach the gospel in the manner of opening one to the light of God.
Yeah.
And a lot of depictions have been pretty negative. Even in her trying to explain it to me, I was just like, where does one find such a place? Like, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
I wasn't questioning the validity, but more so like, well, how come I don't know about it? You know? Because I think I bring the light. You know?
Come on.
But like, it's just been such a beautiful transition. Like, she literally has healed the dark spots of her family. Like,
Wow.
I mean, from her brother's fiance not being from being barren to now about to birth a baby, like within a year. Like 1 year ago, Cinco de Mayo, we were at a barbecue, and I told her, I touched her stomach, and I was like, "You're gonna have a baby." And it was really emotional because they'd been trying, and she just felt less of a woman because she was not carrying it.
Yeah.
And then my friend goes through this process and gives her divine light. She conceived the day that night, and it's just like, it's like I have goosebumps. It's so intense, and I think a lot of times Christians or those who are raised in a place to only box themselves into this vernacular would not embrace the differences of our openness. But like, there's no difference between the walks of those who want to bring you light, love, and peace. Like, this is all it is. And if you're going to get it in quiet times, or you're going to get it with noise, you're going to get it. I'm giving it to you. But I think it's really fascinating, just because I know I'm going to have to look up ascending, what'd you call it?
Ascended Masters.
Ascended Masters, because that sounds...
It's like Jesus, Buddha.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah. All of them.
Feels like it.
That's what's up.
I really enjoyed this, like, for real.
Me
This
too.
is really awesome.
And I want to touch on that because
Come on.
I say something.
okay, no, and it's beautiful that you've seen someone else go, because through my spiritual practice, I've been able to do that. For example, my grandfather committed suicide 13 days before I was born, alcohol overdose. And so I struggled with that my whole life. So there's also tradition that if something like that happened before you're born, sometimes they can reincarnate when they stop your booty, blah, blah, blah. And I really did. Like, I was 6 trying to kill myself. Like, deal with suicide. Very, very big. And I actually got my collares, and I went through some rituals and stuff. And, well, these are my protection beads. So I went through this process. I was doing all this work, a lot of work. And one day my mother comes to me and she goes, I had a dream about your grandfather. He came to me in a dream and just told me that he apologized, that he told me why and what and how he's good. Because she's had this really big problem with his death. And she was very Catholic. They went to church all the time. I just found this out too. They went to church every week and blah, blah, blah. They were really into the church, and she stopped going after he committed suicide, because you know how Catholics, they believe, blah, blah, blah. So he went to her in a dream. And she was able to heal that. And that wasn't my intention was to heal me, right?
But in doing so, man, let me tell you, the students say put that mask on you when you hear turbulence. You help everybody when you can breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Thank you for inviting me, because in real life, you know, we've only interacted in like the spaces of knowing that light is light and love feels good. But the openness of the conversation, like, I'm so glad you're like not a human. Because I love your wife. Like, she's amazing. Like, y'all, they need to come here and record. I'm telling you, because Renee is a stupid writer. Like, that lady right there is gifted. She's touched. And I've always known, because I know you in passing from just like our interactions and people I know that you have encountered. Yeah, y'all need to create, like, document that.
Ma'am. I'm trying to get her. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's all part of the process. That's all part of my healing process. So I don't know if y'all know, I've been a singer my whole life, and it's been a dream of mine. But I have so much anxiety.
I'm the arts advocate. I will coach you through anything.
Hey.
Yes, I'll take you in.
And I have so much anxiety around it. I remember one time I was in here recording, and I left crying because I was just like, I was so nervous. I just couldn't do anything, you know. So that's all in healing. All in healing. And my dad kind of started the healing process, because a couple weeks ago we were sitting in his room and he goes, Renee, I know that I never embraced any of your talents growing up, and I remember you used to sing a lot. What happened? You should look that up. I'm like, I'm looking around like, I'm 30 years old, Daddy. I'm 30 years old, Daddy. And you
I was like 45. And he has some hits. He had like at least 2 albums that was cute.
Yeah.
But think about it. Can you imagine like have like all of your merch, right? Like how, you know, somebody told you like your music is nice, but let it be in the background. But all I could hear was because we can meditate to your sounds.
Yeah.
And you know, when you give a package, like, you know, like Levi says, he's embracing his light and his energy with, you know, sage and learning how to like supplement and fulfill. And when he gives his gifts, he'll have his album in there. He'll have a T-shirt, you know, with peace and how to meditate. But he also has an incense or a candle, has a stone. He gave me this one, you know.
Yeah.
And in just certain capacities. But like, I would love to hear the music that y'all make, because as lovers, like, that just sounds already on the frequency that we want to elevate to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like Ebony was telling me, like, for my sessions, to do sessions with my couples, so we can speak the affirmations and stuff. Because if you get mad at Sable and you start listening to, you know, like, I hate you so much right now, that energy comes into your conversation, into your mood.
Absolutely.
As opposed to elevating, like Janae Aiko frequency. I love that.
I can listen to that on repeat.
Yes, I just love it. And even like, just, you know, the audacity to be intentional.
You gotta do the affirmations, right? Because that'll be like, I love you because I love this about you. So when you get mad and you play it, that'll calm that spirit down. Yeah. As you say, elevation.
And even hearing like the tone, because, you know, of course, when you get angered, you start holding your breath, you stop listening and receiving, you just shut everything off, so it's like things are not flowing and you're just building up the filter.
Yeah.
And then when you have no filter, you just regurgitate all of the frustration, as opposed to I can be compassionate at this moment, you know? I can go through my checklist. Am I angry? Am I horny? Am I happy? Am I going through something? Is something on the outside factor going to keep me from being compassionate to the person I'm about to be compassionate with forever and ever? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, being reminded, like being held accountable, like you literally have created this beautiful space.
Yeah.
And y'all use your hands to break down stones, but not each other. Like, that is so dope. And y'all have grown into your relationship. Y'all have grown in your relationship. Y'all have grown as people. I think that's a conversation to have. Yeah. Like in real life.
Real.
Yeah. That's what's up. So, hey, it's happening.
All right.
Because I want to have a whole podcast about relationships. I may have like a month dedicated to.
I have a whole costume. It's not made yet, but it's going to be cute.
It's not a costume, it's a uniform.
It's my uniform. So I'm like the love practitioner. I'm going to have a stethoscope. Check your heart, make sure your pulse is beating in sync, teach you how to breathe in sync, so you're not like, you know, on different wavelengths and stuff. And then prescribe you certain antidotes like mints that'll help you deeply breathe and exhale, as opposed to that stuff. You know.
That's what's up.
Come on.
Hey, marry us to love.
Yeah, I want to dedicate a month, maybe next month. I'll just dedicate it to relationships, because I feel like that's a part of my life that I've always struggled with.
Oh my God, I can see you on Pride Wives. This would be so dope. We can incorporate like the visuals of your podcast on there and then bring you in as a round table. Like, I just feel like I told them, I'm like, I know everybody that does everything great.
Yeah.
Here they are.
For real.
It'll be easier to get you out there versus like all
of them
14 of them.
Yeah, but you can travel. You can take a fold-up table and snap his thing.
That's true. I got a fold-up table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think what you're talking about.
It's absolutely limitless. But like the On channel, they have 600,000 subscribers without us. And like, I mean, like, that's that's dope. Like, I interviewed them with Levi. So are y'all familiar with him?
Yes.
Levi says.
Yes.
He's just an amazing vocalist.
Very creative.
Yeah. And I interviewed him with them there and just let that happen. And now he's going to have his music on their show.
Nice.
Like, it's just so beautiful.
That's awesome.
But I'm like,
that'd be a dope part of that.
I'm going tomorrow, actually. So like, I'll take some cards.
It's not tomorrow, baby.
It's Saturday. Okay, so I'm going on Saturday.
You know your sister.
Yeah, but so Saturday I'm gonna go, and like, if you wanna like give me some cards or something, I can be like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Look what they do.
Definitely.
Send me EPK. Send me your website.
By then, I mean,
I'm all about advocating for art, like in real life.
Yeah.
Real.
That's what's up. I may have this edited by Saturday, and I can do like the unlisted video, because I want to launch it on Sunday. I have some drag queens coming on Saturday.
Yes. Are they gonna be in drag? Or are they gonna like switch it up?
I said they can wear whatever they want, like whatever y'all want to have on camera. Then
just make sure they walk down this little catwalk.
Hey, yes, right. Like, they need their own music and stuff.
That'll be live. Yeah, so that's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, this is a journey, and I definitely want to do a whole segment on relationships, because I feel like it's very important, but it's weird how I grew up. I feel like it was like I was very isolated my whole life, And I've always struggled with relationships, just in general, like
interpersonal,
regular relationships.
Yeah, interpersonal.
Not even just like romantic relationships, just having a friend. Like that's been hard for me.
I think me too, though. I've told people, they don't seem to believe me, but I'm very shy.
Yeah.
Like reserved, not social. Don't come out saying I feel like this and you should, do something about it. But I'm very emotional and sensitive.
Yeah.
And sometimes the emotions I react to are not my own.
Yeah.
I can't explain I think I'm crazy too. It's okay. But it becomes a normalcy that we embrace. But yeah, this is dope. This is really dope. Like, you've been wanting to do something like this for some years, and I'm everything has aligned. I think it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
Because like in between the segment, you can play your music. You can play some of my poems, some of Ebony's poems. You can play some of her music she creates with her spouse.
It's gonna happen here.
I know. Yes. I know it's gonna happen here.
Y'all
This
gotta
is
come
where
back.
all the thriving artists.
Amber, I gotta say I'm proud of you. I still remember when you was still at your mama's house.
Exactly.
I'm so like when I tell you she is. Oh my God, you
Definitely
blossom.
where you should be.
And she's going so far.
Yeah.
I never. I used to look at you like I used to look up to her. She calls me her mom, but I used to look up to her. I used to be like, that girl is going somewhere. Like she just stay right there. She's going somewhere. I always knew it. Look at you. Look at you.
She sound like a mama. She sound like a
love on me.
I appreciate
But yeah.
it. It's been a long journey. And like, I even think the process has been, because I say I'm not good with relationships, but I do think that like the relationships that I have had, they're very important to me. And I feel like my journey has just been different where like it was meant for me to build in my 20s.
Oh yeah.
And in my like teenage years, even in my teenage years, I was doing videography, I was making music, like I was building. And I feel like this next part of my life, like whatever time, next 30 years, I think is more going to be relationship based, where I'm building connections and having a relationship that is beyond this world.
You have no idea.
You already got it.
Like you have the concept, but no idea. Like I'm writing a book called The Equations of Love that literally goes in with the stuff I did at the computer musical.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like I remember that interview you had with Isaiah.
Yeah.
Your growth is insane. Yeah. And I think each of us have been subjected to some really ugly shit.
Yeah.
But like, mulch is effective.
Yeah.
And we did bloom. Like
Kudos
to everybody in the room.
Snaps.
Yeah. I've grown.
Yeah.
For real.
Man, we're gonna have 2 more conversations about this. So this has been awesome. It's been Red Pill Radio.
Yeah.
And we out.
This is fun.
Yeah, it was.
Very enlightening.